Manx Radio Podcasts, powered by Shore.
Women Today.
Okay, you are listening to the Women Today podcast. I have kept my studio guests. Sorry, the Women and Man Today podcast. I have kept my guests behind this afternoon because we've just been having lovely chats in the studio and we didn't quite get to everything I wanted to talk to them about. So, John Faragher from Food for Free IOM,
Hello.
Welcome back. Tanya Anderson from
Hello.
Lovely Greens, welcome back. So, some of the things that we were talking about off air that we didn't get to quite on air. First of all, mint. Who knew there were so many different varieties? You were reeling off this enormous amount of varieties of mint that you can find. And I want to know the ones that you can find on the Isle of Man.
Well, if you go to any reputable garden centre, you'll find about 15 different varieties, because mint is a very what word can we use in a blog?
That's okay.
It's very.
It likes to
it likes other
reproduce.
mints. It's rampant.
Yes.
It's a rampant mint.
And it doesn't mind who it's rampant with, let's put it
well,
that way.
it has to be another member of the mint family of close relationship. I've not yet seen a mint clash or breed with a rose. That would be quite interesting. But yeah, mint's fantastic. Wild wise, you get water mint and sort of peppermint. And they combine to make the fantastic and amazing spearmint. But yeah, I discovered After Eight mint or chocolate mint.
Does it actually taste like chocolate?
It tastes like After Eight mints. So to me, After Eight mints don't taste like chocolate; they taste like mints.
Yeah,
it's called
but a bit
chocolate mint
sweeter.
because of its brown stalk and its chocolate colour. But it makes the most fantastic tea. It makes the most fantastic tea. Of which there's also peppermint makes nice tea, spearmint, fantastic.
Any of them really? And a top tip for if you're going to grow it yourself at home, if you don't want it to take up your entire flower bed or your entire garden, plant it in a pot that you sink into the ground. And then that will contain it. If you don't do this, you will have an entire garden full of mint.
So it just
Put
spreads.
barbed wire around it as well, just to be safe.
Do you grow a lot of these things in your allotment then, Tanya?
I do. And at home, I have an entire flower bed of mint myself.
Yeah,
It's
I've
actually
got
constrained on one side by concrete and on the other side it's
barbed wire.
Yeah, it's just mowed down. But yes, I do grow quite a bit in the garden. I'd still forage though. There are some top things that I will go out and forage. Wild garlic, for example, both the leaves and the flowers, blackberries, elderflowers, which we talked about in the program. They
Elderflower's
make a
amazing.
great champagne.
We have a different scale of the smell though, don't we? Apparently some people say it smells of cat urine, and I believe it smells of caramel and vanilla. So
one of you has a peculiar nose.
No. It doesn't smell like cat urine to me.
You say potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's just you do hear a lot of people do say that it does smell like that to them. For me, I mean, I wouldn't make champagne out of it if it smelled like
Pea.
Sorry.
So you mentioned foraging as well. We talked about berries. That's something we didn't get to in the show. There are a lot of different berries. We're not just talking blackberries.
Yeah, we've got. We're quite lucky over here. Or unlucky. It's quite invasive, and it's quite rampant going around Port Sodric. We've got salmonberry, which we were talking about.
Salmonberry, like the fish salmon.
Well, it doesn't taste of fish. It's called salmonberry. It's a member of the raspberry family, but it's much larger. You've seen it as well, Tanya, haven't you?
Yeah, well,
it's a yellow.
It's a North American berry, so it's a bit more
Did you bring
common.
it with you?
Yeah, I planted it all over the island for John to find.
It's like a triffid now. It's just spreading everywhere.
And what can you do with salmon berries?
Sweeten it.
Yeah, lots of sugar in a jam, I think.
Yeah, or syrup,
I do eat it off the branch, but it's very tart. It gives you a bit of it. But I'm sure if there was a zombie apocalypse and I was really hungry, I'd get myself down to Port Sodric and pick myself.
They're actually very trendy right now, salmon berries. It's still relatively new, so you can buy them from gardening catalogs now, and it's kind of like the new berry right now with one of the
it was
the
goji berry
catalogs.
last year, wasn't it? Yeah, the year before it was. I was in Cornwall recently, and they've got goji berry growing wild. Their climate's a few degrees warmer than ours. I know a gardener on the island who has just planted some, so we may also have some.
They're
goji
like
berries.
the superfood, aren't they?
I have to mention bilberries because we're coming right into the season right now, and they grow up in higher elevations, and they love the same conditions as blueberries. Blueberries, if you want them in your garden, on a side note, grow them. They do really great in acidic soil.
Yeah.
But bilberries, they're little tiny blueberries. And I'm not going to tell you my places that I go, just like John didn't want to tell his, but Yeah, they're fantastic, and they freeze really well. They're great in pancakes, so I'll just put them in my American-style pancakes.
So, but this is the sort of stuff that you show on your video blogging, your vlogging, Tanya, because you'll take things, whether it's from your own garden or out and about, and then you show how you can make stuff with them as well.
That is the entire premise of Lovely Greens. It's growing and making. Or foraging and making, or salvaging and making, free stuff, taken responsibly, and then turning it into something that you can use in the home.
Well, that's the whole premise of Food for Free as well. Mm-hmm. It's education, it's empowerment, it's enjoyment, it's getting kids back into the countryside, getting everybody back in the countryside in a responsible manner.
It's really important, isn't it? Because as we mentioned on the show, it's difficult now to get kids out of the house sometimes. But this is so much fun for children to do.
Yeah.
Well, you remember that Pokemon Go? I think that someone should come up with a new app.
Pokeplant.
Something. It's got to be a game. It's got to be something merged with technology. That's the way things are going. Teenagers will spend almost all their time in their rooms on their phones.
So use it.
Use it. Get people out into the countryside. I mean, remember when Pokemon Go was about, when it was hot? Everyone was outside. Uh-huh. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's a shame really that it just shows what the mentality is like now of kids and adults too, because it was actually quite fleeting. I think they thought that it was going to be the big thing for years, but it's pretty much gone now. Pokemon Go is gone, hasn't it?
Pokeplant Go now. So
there you go.
Get out
You're excited about this idea, John, aren't you?
Yeah, sadly I probably haven't got the capital to capitalise on it, but if anybody would like to lend me a couple of $100 million,
that
sure
could be your next project. I have to ask you, do you have an allotment of your own? Do you grow your own food?
I have a back garden.
Fruit and veg? You do, and do you grow stuff?
Mainly herbs and mints. I've got a bit of fennel. I'm going to get some lovage because I love the smell of it. The great thing about foraging is it's not just about going out into the wild. You can often bring the wild back to and in a controlled environment, so you can get the plants that you like, the mint families. At the moment, my passion's into tea making because the benefit you get from tea is fantastic, especially the different mints, the different flavours of mints is brilliant. But then combining them with a bit of fennel, it's.
And if you don't want warm drinks, you can also do infused waters, and they're brilliant. Just have a pitcher of water and fill it with mint and lemon and different herbs, and it's amazing.
Do you know what I have to say? That is one thing they do in America really well. Like if you go into a hotel or something in the States, there'll be the table with water, but it's never just a jug of water. It's water with either mint leaves in it or lemon in it or strawberries in it or cucumber. It
gets people drinking water more.
Yeah.
We don't drink enough water.
Yeah,
my daughter drinks it. She loves mint water. It's that menthol, like we were talking about the receptors and how menthol works. It sets off your cold receptors in your mouth, so your mouth has the same sensation if it's cold. So you drink it, and it's mint is a fantastic plant. The benefits of I've got so many listed here, but the improves digestion, reduces pain by reducing inflammation, relaxes the mind and the body. It reduces stress. It's
analgesic.
Yep, that's the word. Thank you.
and actually, I use that as well in my products. So peppermint essential oil, when you put that into a balm and put it on the skin, it helps to relieve muscle tension. And I make a foot product for it. Yeah.
Smell it. It helps in weight loss. It reduces hunger. The smell, which is going to be good for me because I will be 14 stone one day soon.
So Tanya, what are you on the lookout for? You mentioned your products with regards to making the beautiful perfumes for your different products. What do you tend to get from the hedgerows and whatever on the Isle of Man to perfume your products?
Well, to perfume products, I mean, peppermint is decent enough, but you need to have such a huge quantity to get essential oils from that. I actually bring in essential oils from the UK to scent, so it's completely natural. But I do use the herbs and flowers for color and also for their herbal qualities as well. So I use calendula flowers to color soap, but also I use it in a natural salve as well, which is herbalists say is quite good for helping to speed up healing, especially of burns in particular. There's lots of madder root. So I use madder root, which is a very invasive plant if you grow it yourself, but its roots are long and kind of purpley red, and it gives a beautiful red to kind of magenta color. And it was used traditionally to dye wool in the medieval days. Alkanet root as well, purple, lovely purple color. So, yeah.
There's loads that you can do, isn't there?
Yeah.
Absolutely loads.
You're always learning, and that's the other joy. You don't. You're not a know. You can't be a know-all. I never call myself a master forager or something like that, an expert, because you're not. You're always
learning. Yeah, always learning.
And it's good for you. It's good, and you have the best classroom in the whole world. You have the outdoors, you have the countryside.
And we're so lucky here, aren't we?
And the more you teach, the more you learn as well, because there's always somebody that knows something that you don't know or has a usage, and which is why it's so great when you get the chance to come and talk to other people from the same field, because on the Isle of Man, we're rare. The number of guys in their 40s who go out foraging, probably I could count them on one finger.
I was on John's first foraging excursion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Slightly better now.
we didn't know each other at the time. Yeah, it was...
It's about 3 years ago now.
Was it West Baldwin?
Yeah, West Baldwin,
yeah.
See, so much has happened in 3 years.
Yeah.
But we must reiterate, though, at the end of this, we must say that obviously you have to be careful, don't you? We must get that message out there.
I'd been learning the subject for a number of years before I went out and took my first walk. And even then, I think the number of plants that were recognised on my first walk were on one you could count on your hands, 10 maybe. Now, I'm much more experienced. There's much more number of plants. But I will, you never pick anything you don't know. You be doubly sure. Don't be stupid, because like I jokingly say it, but every plant is edible, but some only once. And there are plants that are out there that are on the Isle of Man that are common that will kill you if you eat them.
Or even hurt you if you brush against some hogweed, for example.
Yeah, get very nasty rashes.
We have a bit of we'll have a disagreement. Some plants cause photosensitivity. Hogweed, a member of the carrot family, causes photosensitivity in some people. It does not cause me photosensitivity. I've tested it on myself and it doesn't. But its nasty cousin, giant hogweed, will cause photosensitivity on everybody. You don't have a choice. If you get the sap on you, it can cause. So Tanya's right,
But also even common garden plants like parsnips, the sap from that can cause the same exact thing if you're sensitive to that. So just being careful. Yeah. I've seen some horrible pictures of fellow bloggers that accidentally got parsnip juice from the leaves, not the actual root, on their skin, and it just blisters up like they've had hot water poured on their arm.
You can't eat potato leaves. You can't tomato leaves. Sorry,
or potato
potato leaves as well. Poisonous.
We nearly had it.
Yeah, potato.
Okay, then that brings me to another question. Is it true that you can reduce the sting of a nettle using dandelion leaves? Is that true?
I would personally use plantain or ground ivy. Ground ivy is a mint family member, so therefore has a really nice oil. I believe personally, and it's something that I've been taught by my mentor, is that actually it's the friction of the rubbing which alleviates the pain. But did you know that they now use nettle stings to alleviate the pain of arthritis? You sacrifice one pain for another.
Bee stings as well. Yeah.
You would know about those, Tanya.
I actually have had someone visiting the island ask me if I would sell them some bees so that they could self-administer the stings to themselves. I declined. What? Yes. Yeah. But
for health reasons.
But for 50 quid, I pushed them into a hedge full of nettles. It was
On that note, thank you so much for both for being with me this afternoon.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us,
Don't forget
Christy.
to check out Food for Free IOM and also Lovely Greens Isle of Man as well. All the best, guys.
Thank you.
Women Today.
Don't sit in the slow lane. Join the fast lane right now with Shaw's all-new Superfast Plus broadband. Enjoy more bandwidth, amazing speeds and the best value on the island from just £23.95 per month. So don't be left behind. Get a piece of the high-speed action with Superfast Plus broadband from Shaw. For details, visit our stores in Douglas, Ramsey and Port Erin or click shaw.com. Love being Shaw. Terms and conditions apply.